Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today taking a look at the Imperial Troop Transport released from the Star Wars Rebels line. The box art is looking pretty nice with a nice image of the troop transport on the front, on the planet of Lothal with some walkers in the background, laser blasters flying around and stuff. In case you were wondering, this is a fantasy scene. Left and right sides of the packaging are the same and not showing off the product, just the Stormtrooper helmet and the Star Wars Rebels logo. Top of the packaging, there you get a little bit of a shot of the Imperial Troop Transport. And on the bottom, you do get a look at the 3 other vehicles that were available in this line at the time. Backside, as you expect, shows off the toy with various Stormtroopers being placed in the little compartments there. You got a brief description on the top left side, and then along the right side showing off some features of the vehicle. The canopy opens and closes, and that you have a pivoting cannon. A little bit confused here because it does make it look like it should go up and down, and as you'll see when I go through the vehicle, it only swivels around 360. So not sure what's going on with that. Out of the box, you got a little bit of assembling to do and a fair amount of stickers to apply. Assembly's pretty easy though. Backside just snaps on, and then your canopy clips onto the top of that. Insert your missiles, apply the stickers, and this is how it looks like all ready to go. And overall, not a bad looking vehicle. This does seem like it's probably a bit smaller than it should be. This was of course during the time that, the vehicles were getting smaller in the line. Now this is a refreshed version of what was released, late 70s, early 80s for the original Star Wars line. And I don't have that original one, so I don't know how this compares. But in terms of size, this one is about 10 inches long and 5.5 inches wide. So if any of you have that original one, you can see, how that scales to it. Obviously, it should be a bit bigger since I think the idea is everyone comes out from the inside. I don't think that was the case on the original toy and definitely not here. Going in for a bit of a closer look on the exterior. Things are looking pretty decent, like I said. Nice sculpting to it. Pretty simple design overall. Some nice panel detailing being done through the front. There's some black windows, white stripes on top that are painted on. This here is not stickers that you apply. On the front of the vehicle, you have 2 small cannons that simply swivel side to side. No rotation in there, nothing that shoots out. As it keeps twirling around, you're going to see some of the stickers that you do apply yourself, and that's going to be where the red markings are. So there's a couple red squares up at the top, little red triangles that you see scattered here and there on the body of the vehicle. As you get to the back where each of these pods are, still more panel detailing being done in the front. These little doors here do not open up. Those are molded shut, so that's just for looks. And then above those pods, you got some more detailing being done on the top of the vehicle. Heading around to the back, you got some more mechanical detailing being done here. Running along the bottom, you got a little exhaust vent there. Nice light gray painting being done. And that really sums up the painting for the exterior of the vehicle. That gray, the bits of white that you see, and then that black window. And everything's painted pretty nice. Well placed, staying within the lines. And then as it rotates around to the other side of the vehicle, sculpting's pretty much mirrored on both sides. It looks the same. And as you can see, you got 3 pods on each side where you can stick some figures into. And then just for looks, here's a little range of figures. You got a Rebels Stormtrooper, the Retro Collection Stormtrooper, and then the recent release of the Stormtrooper from the Vintage Collection. And each of them fit in there quite well. Along the top of the vehicle, some more panel detailing being done. Those black triangles that you see are some more stickers that you do apply yourself. Otherwise, you got some nice white painting for some little stripes across the top there. And on the back, you got the swiveling missile launcher. And that just swivels around a full 360, but does not raise or lower. So that's kind of stuck in the angled position that you see. You got 2 buttons on the top of that missile launcher to shoot each missile independently. And they shoot out pretty well. No complaints with that. That lid does flip open, and on the underside of that, some nice detailing being sculpted in there. Lots of little panel detailing and various wires or something being sculpted in. And then the interior of the vehicle itself features 3 seats where you can slide said stormtroopers into position, or any other figure if you like. But as you can see, each of those 3 different stormtroopers do fit in there quite well. You can set the weapons off to the side. You got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cup holders there that the little weapons can slide into. And even a little tray off to the side from that, any other extras that you wanted to lay in there. And even with the stormtroopers and the weapons, all in position, that lid still closes quite well. So no problems with that. Otherwise, though, the rest of that interior, the decoration is being driven by the stickers that you apply. Nice graphics printed onto each of those. The 3 on the one side are mirrored on the other side. And then you got a little front console sticker there for the driver's seat. Otherwise, the rest of that sculpting's pretty minimal. Kind of got a woven pattern being sculpted in where the feet would rest, I suppose. And then just some little bit of texturing being done on each of the seats. Bottom side of the vehicle, not a lot to brag about. It seems like they didn't know which way they wanted to go with this. That front section is mostly hollowed out. so you see the bottom of what I like to call the little cup holders. But as you can see, the underside of each seat does have a fair amount of detailing to it, so it's like they kind of wanted to finish it off and give it a look. Just not that much of a payoff, since that front part of the vehicle really just sinks in and ends up not being covered. And then on to the biggest fail of the vehicle, I feel like, are the non-existent wheels. They did sculpt on, 4 little half-rounded circles, but they're not wheels by any means. Just a thin point for the vehicle to rest on the floor. I mean, you can still push it along, I guess. That kind of works. Like, it's not going to roll on you, which I do wish it did. I wish it had real wheels, but I guess it does still at least give it a little bit of a hovering effect. So overall, for me, it's still a nice looking vehicle. As I mentioned, I didn't have the original, and this one is not meant to even replace that. This is a different sculpt, especially on the front of the vehicle. It does mirror what you saw in the Rebels cartoon, so it certainly isn't meant to look like the original release. And even recently, episode 7, I think, of The Mandalorian featured an Imperial Troop Transport. Different sculpt for the front of the vehicle, but since you don't have a toy available to purchase for that line, this might not be a bad pickup if, maybe you're not a fan of Rebels, or maybe you were, or just like the vehicle. At least in the modern line, something does exist out there that would still kind of work to recreate the Mandalorian episode. So yeah, fun looking vehicle, very basic looking. Certainly would like to see some, weathering or something being applied to it. At this point in the line, unless it gets used more in the Mandalorian, I don't really see that happening. So that wraps this one up. Definitely let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.